who said what? Oh, that's so new. Now who said what? Them rumors true. Now who said what? Oh, that's so new. Royal voices with the business just for you. Yeah.
What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yes. What it do, 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 y'all. It is your boy, KVNGJAY, and we are here today for Royal Voices, episode 3, y'all. Yes. Episode 3 is in the mood. So, as y'all can tell, I'm in a good spirit, y'all. I don't know the power of a trip, of just vacations, of just a chance to not do a motherfucking thing. It's so powerful. And it makes you not only, appreciate when you get back and get back to your, routine of things, but it makes you come back with a new energy, just a new, rejuvenation, I feel like. And a motivation to kind of get those things done. It's just a good day. And it's only 11:30 a.m. So we should let me not get ahead of the day. We'll see how the day go when I leave this mother freaking house. And see how y'all act in public today, because people usually is what pisses me off. People. Anyway, we get off topic. What's going on, y'all? It is your boy, KVNGJAY, host of Royal Voices Podcast. This is the official podcast of Kvngdom, a creative hub for music, art, and fashion, and a space where we uplift creatives in a variety of ways, including networking, education, and spotlighting people, and a ton of other things. So to make sure that y'all do not miss anything going on in Kvngdom, going on Royal Voices, make sure you follow us on socials. Instagram is all one word, Royal Voices Podcast, as well as on TikTok. And then for Kvngdom, it's KVNGDOM.co on Instagram and TikTok. Follow your host, the kid, on Instagram at _JAYTHEDON _, and the link tree in my bio will have a link to all the other things that I be involved in, so you will not miss things there. And then lastly, Kvngdom.com, KVNGDOM.com. Go ahead and get y'all Kvngdom essentials. Merch is out now. I'm gonna start showing them more on the show. I'm one man. Okay, so doing a lot of this, that, and the third, but you know what? I'm gonna start putting my clothes on the show, so y'all can see what I'm talking about. Okay, but yeah, go ahead on Kvngdom Essentials. Go ahead and get y'all some items. Again, we got more things coming, and I want to say they'll be there before the start of the summer. Don't quote me though. So yeah, I ain't gonna waste our time, y'all. One thing I do want to say for this episode. For this episode, I'm trying a different format. Okay, one of my watchers asked if we could bring in the pop culture stuff right now. Okay, last season we did it. This season I said I didn't want to really have it in the show, but I wanted to move it to TikTok and do a segment called Hot Takes. But I feel like, well, one, they were telling me more so like they missed the the banter. Really be wanting to see what I got to say about certain stuff. But on top of that, the content on TikTok can still be created. I could just take segments from the show and then put it on TikTok like I've been doing with other segments. So I said okay, because this is your space. This is Kvngdom. I'm king, but I'm gonna always listen and attempt to please the masses. So in today's episode, we will not be doing artist spotlight in this episode. Okay, hold on. Just for this episode, we will not be doing artist spotlight. Okay, I'm going to be doing artist spotlight and moving it to next week. Okay, so then that way you may be having a video this week and next week. Hold on. So I am going to try this approach per request, and if I'm rocking with it, I rock with it, and I'll go ahead and move those things over. If I'm like and I don't really feel it, I'll move artist spotlight back to the show, and we'll go from there. But yeah, just want to let you know, artist spotlight will be on this week will be moved to next week, and this episode will just be a lot of your boy King, and we're going to get into some nitty-gritties today. First on the docket, because we got a lot of shit to talk about, is politics, okay? Let's go get into that. I like to always start the shows by saying this is not a political space. However, we intertwine politics just so y'all know what the hell is going on around you, because y'all, this administration, I feel like every day we wake up, it's just something else. Something else, some price done fucked up, some country done got offended, Trump done said something stupid, Trump done lied about something, one of his friends done lied about something, somebody done hurt somebody, some texts got leaked. It's always something. Okay, so I'm not going to bombard y'all with information. Just going to give y'all the key highlights of top things. I'm going to read a few articles for y'all, give a little banter on that, and then I'm going to encourage y'all always and forever. Google is free. Google is free. Please go ahead and look into things that we're talking about. Go ahead and go down them rabbit holes. Put two and two together. Okay, but you can only put two and two together if you know to read. So please go read. Do your own research. Take everything that I'm saying here today as a lie. But I will always quote you my sources. So first things first, we have a new pope. Yes, we have a new pope. So this is coming from NPR. Also, by the way, NPR is attempting to be, I want to say, unfunded, according to the federal government, because Trump don't feel this is a quality news source. But I digress. Here is what U.S. Catholics are saying about the election of Pope Leo. I don't know. These numbers of Roman numerals is XIV. I want to say 14, 15, 16, 17. One of those. One of those. But yes, let's get into it. So when Catholics across the U.S. attended Sunday services this weekend, it was the first time in history they had done so with an American pope sitting in the Vatican. On Thursday, the College of Cardinals selected Chicago-born Robert Prevost to lead the church of some 1.4 billion adherents worldwide. He took the name Pope Leo XIV. Now, this is news to me. What do you mean? Do you create your name as the Pope? Pope Leo. Okay, go by all means. Some U.S. Catholics took particular pride in the election of the first American pontiff, who has familiar ties to multiple places across the country. On Sunday, New Orleans resident Megan Gibson said Pope Leo seems very down to earth and that she was excited by the election even more because members of his family once lived in the city. The fact that his family comes from New Orleans is amazing, Gibson, 37, told NPR member station WWNO. Rosemary Westwood. Hopefully he will grace us with his presence sometime during his papacy. Why that word get me? Papacy. So again, this kind of goes on to talk about how he has family all over New Orleans and Chicago, and folks is really, 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 really happy to see this space. Now, they've seen a lot of popes, according to Spencer, who was 74, said he's seen a lot of popes. She, my bad, added Pope Francis I loved, and Pope Leo will follow right along in his footsteps and do even greater things. However, some of this takes a turn. Now, the prior Pope, I believe it was Pope Francis, rest in peace. Pope Francis, I believe, is a pope who left a message for the new pope and basically told the new pope he don't like Donald Trump. Okay, don't rock with Donald Trump and do not support what he does because he's not a man of God. Surprise? No, but this has sparked outrage with MAGA because so many Catholics and so many Christians and stuff is in that MAGA space, and to hear the Pope be told to not listen to Trump or not follow Trump or whatever have you, it kind of created controversy. It kind of created this divide, if you will, of people, just being mad about their savior not being respected. Now, I think the more and more people are open and honest and vocal about their dislike for an administration that is truly causing hell. I could see if people had these feelings about a president or about an administration if they didn't do anything wrong. Right. Now, I'm not saying every president that did something wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But when I say the character, the morality, the ethics behind people in leadership positions hold weight. And the amount of people who have really just been like, you know what, despite his character flaws, despite being indicted felon, despite, you know what I'm saying, the crazy shit he does and say, not just him, but all his administration does and say, despite all of that, they're metrically qualified. And even that is a key in of itself. That the math doesn't math. So I can't be mad at the Pope, you know. I cannot be mad at the Pope. I cannot be mad at the prior Pope. I cannot be mad at the Vatican as a whole. Just being like, yeah, that man is tripping, because he is, because he is. I don't care who you are, how you feel, which side of the podium you leaning on. That this administration is wild, and to not say that is a lie. Okay, to not acknowledge that is a lie, and you know I feel like the group of MAGAs continuously battle every single day cognitive dissonance. Every single day they support and scream for a man who continues to show them y'all are the clowns at the end of the day. So, you know, as expected, the mixed feelings coming from the community of folks, it makes perfect sense. There's another article here I do want to read from Reuters. Reuters, Reuters. And the article headline is Pope Leo once leveled criticism at Trump and Vance. MAGA is not amused. So to further what I was just saying, before becoming Pontiff, the first U.S.-born Pope was not shy about criticizing President Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. Pope Leo, who was chosen by cardinals to succeed the late Pope Francis, has a handful of disapproving posts from the Republican leaders' policies on the X account of Robert Prevost. Those posts drew their own criticism on Thursday from Trump's most diehard conservative supporters, including activist Laura Loomer, who, even as the president himself, expressed pride at having an American in charge of the Vatican. To have the Pope from the United States of America, that's a great honor, Trump said at the White House. Asked if he would meet with Leo, Trump said they've already called. White House officials did not comment about the criticisms on Prevost's account. Staff of the White House cheered the election for the first American-born Pope on Thursday as the news came across their television screens. The thing about this is I find it crazy we have an American Pope at a time like this. Like, the world is really turning against America, justifiably. And to see now an American leader in the Vatican is a key. And to have him be from Chicago is crazy to me. That is so crazy to me. So, you know, I wish the best for the new Pope. I don't really know a lot about the way they structure shit over there. I don't know a lot about what the Pope actually do. Cause I thought the Pope was like a pastor, a preacher or something. Like, I thought they led church on Sundays. But I don't even think the Pope be outside like that. I think he got other people who do that for him. So I don't know what the order of the popes in the Vatican is. I do believe some spooky shit going on over there. I do believe it's some stuff they got a knowledge of and that we just don't be aware of. I learned a lot about that Vatican building. I'm doing some research into that space. I'm doing my Googles. I would encourage y'all to do your Googles too. Support to all, you know, the folks who support the new Pope. Support to the new Pope. And I hope this hopefully, you know, calm some tensions in the relations with America. Okay. We also have some news of the first group of white Africans to arrive to the United States. Let's go clap at that. Yeah. Now, I know this story a little bit already, and if you notice a shift in tone, I will explain why momentarily. But let me go ahead and read y'all this article again, coming from NPR. Also, about to be defunded. So do with that what you will. The article reads, first Afrikaners arrive in U.S. under radically redrawn refugee program. So the first group of white South African refugees arrived in the U.S. on Monday under President Trump's executive order mandating they be prioritized for resettlement, even as the broader refugee program remains largely on hold. The 59 Afrikaners, I keep reading that like that, descendants of mainly Dutch colonists, underwent expedited reviews that took months, were brought to the U.S. on a government-chartered flight, and were greeted at Dulles International Airport by federal officials. All unconventional steps for the refugee resettlement program, which can take years to process. Families on Monday arrived at the airport with their luggage. Children donned pajamas and carried small American flags and stuffed animals as their parents walked them through a private airplane hangar. Troy Edgar, Deputy Homeland Security Secretary, and Christopher Landau, the Deputy Secretary of State, greeted the families, shaking hands and posing for photos. "Welcome to America," Landau told the families. "I want you to know that you are really welcome here." But their admission to the U.S. has drawn scrutiny from resettlement agencies in the U.S. who faced sharp budget, resource, and personnel cuts since Trump took office. Among his first executive actions, Trump temporarily paused the refugee resettlement program. Various agencies, including the State Department, have also paused dispersing funds for critical services such as the home, job, and school assistance that Afrikaners are poised to receive. The pause sent the refugee resettlement agencies into turmoil after refugees already cleared to arrive to the U.S. received notice their flights had been canceled. Among those left in limbo were Afghans who worked with the U.S. military, a move that some Republicans have criticized. Judges have ordered the government to at least resume the refugee program for those who had already been approved to travel, but the administration is fighting the court order. When asked whether the administration would reopen the border refugee settlement program, Landau told reporters it was still an ongoing consideration. Some of the criteria are making sure that refugees did not pose any challenge to our national security and that they could be assimilated easily into our country. He said about the decision to let in Afrikaners. I'm going to say that last sentence one more time, and I'm going to read it a little slow for my friends in the back who, take a little longer to catch up. Some of the criteria, when asked about reopening this refugee program, some of the criteria are making sure that refugees did not pose any challenge to our national security and that they could be assimilated easily into our country. This is the same individual who said, "Welcome to America. I want you to know you are really welcome here." So clap it up for the article. Now, Trump also added in that same space that these Afrikaners were expedited and brought to America the way they were because they faced discrimination in Africa. So, I just want to break down a few things that article just said, okay, in case I wasn't following along. One, the white Afrikaners were prioritized over refugees. Mind you, a program that's currently not even active. These Afrikaners were prioritized over refugees already in that process. Refugees who already had a clearance to come to America had their flights canceled. And again, really want to emphasize they're getting expedited because Trump said they're facing racial and radical discrimination in Africa. And at this point, I'm no longer sugarcoating shit for y'all. If your feelings get hurt on this damn podcast, oh, the fuck well. I'm sorry. We have to just be honest. I'm so tired of seeing news articles sit here and act baffled, lost, dazed, confused. What's going on? Why would they even do that? Shut the hell up. Please. It's in your face in broad daylight in good time. And at this point, like I've said on other podcast episodes, if you do not want to acknowledge what the hell is going on, it's because you don't want to. I want to say this focus on immigration to America was never about safety. At least with this administration. It was never about safety. It was about who was immigrating. It was about how they looked as they immigrated. This is all about racism. I keep talking about this on the show, and even when I watch the show back and I'm like getting snippets and shit, I talk a lot about racism in this bitch because y'all are really racist. Some of y'all got bias, yes, but a lot of y'all truly, 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 truly advocate for white power every day. Some of y'all consciously, wholeheartedly, bold with your chest. A lot of y'all unconsciously. And then get mad when people call you out and hold you accountable for operating in biases your grown ass should recognize at this point. Y'all know, growing up, we used to have a lot of opportunities in my school, like with being part of psychology and stuff like that. We had the chance to kind of look a lot of studies around racism, around how people just viewed shit. Not even just race and just ethnicity, but more so how people viewed dominance, how people viewed control. And a lot of the time it was based on approval of behaviors in the sense of superiority. One of my favorite studies of all time is the brown eye blue eye test. I believe her name is Jane Elliott. For those who don't know, go ahead and look at Jane Elliott. White woman who did, I believe she passed away. I could be wrong, but I want to say she's passed away at this point. But she was very insightful during this test where she had a class of kids and she separated the kids based on brown eyes and blue eyes. And she gave permission to say the brown eye kids can go ahead and go to recess earlier than the blue eye kids. Oh, the brown eye kids can play with all the toys while the blue eye kids can only play with this many toys. The brown eye kids could get an extra snack during snack time, and the blue eye kids can only get one snack at the snack time. Just to kind of see what the response would be. And she did this with kids, she did this with adults, she did this with college students, and people, specifically white people, because she would always make the focus on white people experiencing POC experiences. And the white folks would be so upset, child, ready to cry, boo-hoo, I want to leave, I'm done doing this, I'm so uncomfortable. And her message all the time was, you have this privilege to turn this bitch on and off. The minute you leave this room, this experiment is done. But for everybody else who carries melanin in their skin, melanated people, We don't turn it off. And like I said the last episode, this mindset that racism is just not there, is not a thing, is not influencing shit. The way amount of people acting so batshit stupid, like what the fuck is, I don't know what's going on. It's racism. And y'all are uncomfortable to talk about it. You have a whole story here where he literally went to Africa, got some white people, put them on a plane, paid for it, gave them flags, clothes, food, snacks, all that good shit, gave them a photo op, brought them over here and said, you're really welcome here. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like that's not a pissed off tactic that this administration is trying to do and have been trying to do with POC since they got in this bitch. They really want us to wild out. They really want us to crash out so bad. So bad that they're trying to do things to antagonize us, the black community specifically. And, you know, one thing about it, you not getting that out of us, you goofy asshole. You're not. You're not, because you already know what it is. You're not trying to you're trying to unconvince us racism is not there. We see it, we experience it, we know it's there. We know y'all lie about it. We know y'all play and act around about it. But we've been doing this. We've been here. We've been doing this. So we're not surprised. I'm highly disappointed that this shit is on this massive a scale and bitches still in well, maybe y'all are just tripping. Y'all just don't know. It's in your face. And the amount of y'all that are so uncomfortable to even acknowledge it, it's really sad. But I'm not surprised because this is America. It's in your face in real time. And what's crazy, I respect the motherfuckers who openly racist a lot more than the white ones and people who act like they not. I don't like it. Right motherfucker, wrong idea. But I can know that enemy. You know what I mean? I can understand. Okay, that's a op. But I hate a nitpicky. Oh, I'm here for the cause. Well, no, I'm not. Hold on, I'm white. Hold on. But I want to benefit. Y'all need to be real with yourselves, and that's gonna be your actual demise. This as a country is gonna be the demise of that because y'all don't know how to act. Y'all lie to yourselves. And y'all racist. A lot of y'all are racist. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it because it makes y'all uncomfortable. And that's something that y'all have to sit with yourselves about. Something that y'all have to work on for yourselves to improve. If you support this administration, you have racist beliefs. You have biased beliefs. I don't care about none of the political shit. I don't care about none of the economic because it's not there. He fucking it up more. It ain't about no healthcare because it ain't there. He fucking it up more. It ain't about housing because he fucking it up more. It ain't about groceries because y'all still can't afford them damn eggs. Y'all still can't afford them damn cars. Y'all still can't afford that damn house. So everything that you're trying to rationalize in your mind as to why you support these people, as to why you support this administration, and the biggest one y'all keep saying, I used to have you on immigration. Y'all don't even know what the fuck goes into immigration. A lot of y'all really think people just say they want to come in this bitch and they here. That's not how it works. But you don't care how it works because you think you gonna go up because immigrants are not here. When the gag is, you really gonna go down. You really gonna fuck around and find out. Okay, a lot of you business owners who business is on the verge of bankruptcy because you done lost all your motherfucking employees. Hey. All those folks who don't even who swear immigrants taking their jobs, you still ain't got them jobs because you ain't qualified enough. Let's talk about it. That's the recruiter in me. And I'm the asshole if I sit here and say, in real talk, a lot of American-born folks Just being honest. I'm American made. I'm just I'm being honest. We not touching a lot of international workers. Respectfully. The resumes I come across, when I see international students and internationals come across my desk, when I say stacked up, double masters, business owner, 4.5, 0.6 GPA. I didn't even know GPAs got this damn high. Like, we really have to reassess. We are all great. We are all phenomenal. We are all amazing. But we cannot take out our frustrations from the systems that be on people who are not harming the system, who are not harming you. Did y'all know immigrants, especially undocumented immigrants, contribute to the economy more than they can even take from it? Y'all swear everybody just got just voting and doing this. It's so much misinformation going on. And I would just encourage y'all to do y'all research. Google is free. Free. It don't cost you shit. And you can access it on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, hell, on your damn Apple Watch. It's free. Just go look. Go learn. And maybe you'll come to grips with breaking down the biases you have and the willingness you have and being so damn gullible. This administration is not good, y'all. As people, as strategists, as leaders. And all you can debate all you motherfucking want. But it will not change the fact, if you support this administration, you are the clown. And in the next 20, 30 years, when we look back on this day, at this administration, at this team, y'all gonna have to sit with the fact. The fact so many of y'all today, when asked who you voted for, be saying some shit like, that's a challenging question. Now, that's all I need to know. When you cannot stand 10 toes behind a decision you made, it's because you regret it. It's because you know it wasn't a good decision. Okay? You know it. Some people don't want to just want to be private, cool. But a lot of y'all don't even feel comfortable acknowledging in that. And lastly, a lot of y'all, I think about what supports this administration. A lot of y'all, honestly, who support this administration is really just tired of being poor, tired of your money not stretching far enough, and you're looking for somebody to blame. And somehow, some way, y'all been convinced immigration is impacting your jobs. People eating cats and dogs is impacting your egg prices. And, DE&I is blocking you from being a billionaire. That's where y'all at with it. So I really just want y'all to recognize that and also notice your anger for all of that is justifying you being blind to the fuck shit that's going on in front of you. That's why so many of the supporters on that side are scrambling to try to find some kind of rationale behind all the shit this administration does. The cognitive dissonance is crazy. The delusion is crazy. It's crazy. So I'm wishing y'all well. To the white Afrikaners who came over, welcome to America. I feel like these opportunities should be afforded to anybody wanting to come to this country. Um, we have to do something about this immigration process to speed it up and make it a bit more effective in time. Make it a bit more thorough in criminal background checks and all that, because we don't believe, criminals and all that, people who murder people should go. Nobody wants that. But what we are saying is you cannot just look at somebody and say, oh, oh, that's a gang member, oh, that's a terrorist, oh. You can't just look at somebody and say that. That's wild. Because ooh, if the shoe was on the other foot, every Billy, Sarah, and Tommy are threats to them damn schools. Every Sarah is a Karen. Okay? If we really want to get into don't do that. Don't do that. Don't you do that. Be better. Live better. Operate better. Because you motherfuckers are weird and racist. I'm motherfucking done. So next on the docket, we have a segment of what I like to call "Let's Talk About It" with King. Okay. Let's talk about it. Okay, so let's talk about it with King is where I'm gonna talk about all the pop culture things going on. And again, y'all, it be so much shit. So I'm gonna really just stick to the heavy hitting topics of today. I think it's really important to note that these are my opinions. These are my opinions, mine alone. If it's a problem, take it up with me. But I said what I said, and I'll say it again. So just to air that out, first thing on the docket today is Met Gala and the theme of the Met Gala. So who had a chance to lock it on in and go ahead and tune into the Met Gala? Okay. So when the Met Gala come around, child, I am always caught off guard. As it don't ever be a thought process in my mind. But I love to always go back and see the fashions. That's just the fashion boy in me. But I did pull up an article from Vogue to kind of give you all some brief understanding of the 2025 Met Gala. So just really quick for those who don't know what that is. The Met Gala is a charity event and fundraiser for the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute. It has traditionally been timed to mark the opening of the department's annual fashion exhibition. Year after year, the event raises 8-figure sums. This year, the proceeds have reportedly rung in at $31 million. Clap that on up. Clap that on up. Museum officials are reporting that this is the biggest gross in the storied event's 77-year history. Y'all, that's crazy. So this year, the Met Gala's theme, I'm trying to remember what the theme was. So on Wednesday, October 9th, the Museum of Art announced the Costume Institute Spring 2025 exhibition, which was super fine, tailoring Black style, drawing inspiration from Monica L. Miller's 2009 book Slaves to Fashion, Black dandyism, and the styling of Black diasporic identity. The exhibition is organized into 12 sections, each representing a characteristic that defines dandy style, which are ownership, presence, distinction, disguise, freedom, champion, respectability, juk, which is defined in Zora Neale Hurston's book Characteristics of Negro Expression, an important reference for the exhibition as a space for dancing, drinking, and other leisure activities, heritage, beauty, cool, and cosmopolitanism. So Superfine will feature garments, paintings, photographs, and more from artists including Turquoise Dyson, Tonda Francis, Andre Jannard Matswa, and Tyler Mitchell, all exploring the indelible style of black dandies from the 18th century through the present day. Miller also serves as a guest curator for the show, working alongside Costume Institute curator in charge Andrew Bolton. Now, um, the Met Gala this year to me was cool. I love the theme. Um, Taylor and Black style. Now, y'all, I'm gonna have to always clock it because that's what I do. This was definitely pandering. Definitely a tone checker of the moment. Black people, we get bolstered up and promoted when it fits. You know, time and a lot of organizations, including the Met Gala, Grammys, Oscars, all that kind of stuff, will cater to black people in a time they feel appropriate to balance the shit happening out in the world. So I'm happy that was the case for the situation for the Met Gala this year, but I still also understand the optics behind it. And honestly, the fits was nice. Okay, I gotta everybody was in attendance. Now the only one I gotta say something to is Doja Cat. You all right? I want y'all to go ahead and look up Doja Cat and look up what she wore to this damn Met Gala. A plum tuckered fool. You goofy as hell. But it was on brand for Doja Cat. It was on brand for my girl Doja Cat. It was a cool event. Best dressed to me was Sabrina Carpenter. I just think that's a white woman that's just fine being a white woman. You know what I'm saying? She accentuates herself in a way that, like, damn, you look the fuck good. She remind me of like Marilyn Monroe. Just very kind of just like you just look aesthetically pleasing. And the fit she had on, like this little brown one piece suit thing, she just looked so good. And I just really, really loved it. Diana Ross, who hasn't been to the Met Gala since 2003, popped out for the one good time. The rap girlies, Cardi B gave wicked vibes, you know what I'm saying? Doja Cat was Doja Cat. um, Nicki. Nicki came in giving funeral. Very, very much. I felt like Nicki had a what's the things called? Y'all know that movie where what's the name of that? Oh my God, it was a movie of a lady who was a doll collector, and it had a little creepy saying, "Oh, Mary Shaw." Yes, when it says this is the story of Mary Shaw. She had no children, only dolls, and if you see her, do not scream or she'll rip your tongue out at the scene. That's what Nicki gave me. She gave me at any moment this host want to pull out a ventriloquist dummy and be like, "You hoes thought I was playing," but she looked good. Just gave me funeral vibes. Tiana Taylor, I think to me was like the best dress. I'm gonna have to get out of King Rule. Yes, that's the King Rules for it. Yeah, y'all. Tiana Taylor, she looked the fuck good, and to me, it gave exactly what that theme was, but it also screamed Tiana Taylor. And then her bandana being tied up, y'all. Tiana, chef's kiss. And then that one guy who I thought was Kai Cenat. I don't know his name. He was dark skinned. It wasn't Kai Cenat, but he had on this like kind of like hearts, but like a black version, and he had this open chest piece thing that like had it was so nice. It was bedazzled as shit. He looked cold. He looked like a fighter in Tekken or something. Like you'll be playing as him as a fighter character. But he just they did their thing. Okay, they did their thing. Oh, and Janelle Monáe, I got to give it to her too. Janelle Monáe. Now that you looked claustrophobic as hell in that damn boxy ass suit, jacket, vest, trench coat thing, but when it came off, you still look good. So I got to give it to y'all for best dress of that night. I do want to touch on Doechii though. Now Doechii for the Met Gala had a little debacle with some of her assistants helping her get from, I believe, the hotel to the Met Gala red carpet. And she kind of had a crash out moment, right? Where she, I guess, coming off an elevator, she had this big ass like white box around her to try to hide what she was going to be wearing. And I guess it wasn't enough umbrellas to like not block cameras. So she was losing her shit. She was cussing people out, yelling, kind of just being in that diva mode, you know what I'm saying, behind her outfit. And people started saying like, yeah, she kind of be bitchy sometimes, or she be in these you know what I'm saying, disrespectful kind of moods and all of that. I want to touch on a few things with this. One, I understand the pressures of being in that moment, okay? I understand. And when I say being in that moment, what I mean is when you are creative, when you're an artist, you are in this visionary mindset all the time. And when you're having the opportunity to create or do or experience the shit you visioned in your head for so long, or you had the chance to execute your idea of something, you wanted to kind of, you have a plan or expectation for it to go that way every time, to go that way specifically, and it doesn't. And in that moment, you get them, you know, crash out moments where it's like, I'm mad at everybody, I'm cussing everybody out, da, 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 da. And it's not because you disrespect people or because you want to be rude to people or because you want to, you know, invalidate the work people have done to support you or helping you out, but it's the fact of your baby is crying. You know what I mean? Something is not going right to how you envisioned it. And a lot of the times when y'all see people like the musicians and stuff on tour crashing out behind a set designs or the music or the light and stuff like that, it's not because it didn't go right. It's because they footing the bill. They footing the bill. If you pay for something, especially in those places, most of the times, if it goes right or not, you still got to pay for it. So if that lighting I paid for that cost $100,000 then just didn't turn on, I don't get that money back. You get what I'm saying? Now I'm not saying all that to justify what Doechii was doing, because one, pipe the fuck down behind that outfit. That outfit was not even worth all the damn blocking you was trying to do. You look good. The afro was cute, but it was an afro and some damn shorts. Relax. Okay, relax there. Got us real quick. I thought she was gonna pop out in something I ain't never seen before. Something that needed to be blocked. You had on some shorts, some boots, a button-down shirt, and a fro. They gave little Pharrell vibes, Louis Prada, Gucci, whatever the fuck. It wasn't worth all that, baby. It didn't call for all that. But at the same time, I understand you had a vision, you had a plan, it didn't go that way, and there you are. I also want to acknowledge, you know, she's a newer artist. This is her first time at the Met Gala. She's a newer space, and she kind of getting thrusted into this bitch. Like she's not getting any, you know, chance to kind of get her feet wet first or anything like that. She is in the spotlight and kind of got there fast as hell. So it's an adjustment thing, and I think for a lot of new artists, it's important to stay true to you. In moments and stuff like that, it's important to be authentically yourself. Be firm and be able to share what the fuck's going on and, you know, the business side of things. But you don't got to be an asshole. You ain't got to be rude. You ain't got to be disrespectful. And recognize people around you when you got a team and all that, a publisher, a manager, stylist, all that kind of stuff, photographers. They're there because you're there. Okay, you're paying them to be there. Um, but because they are assisting, you try to be a bit more, respectful before they say they quit. Treat people right, because it takes a community of people to get these things done. When you see a tour, when you see a show, when you see a production team, they're not doing it just to say, "Oh, I got some shit done." No, they're really in mode, and it's a lot of moving parts, and we got to be on one page. It's gonna be stress that's gonna come up out of it, because we're moving fast, doing the turnarounds, all that stuff. But them crash out moments should really be saved for when shit's really hitting the fan. You know what I'm saying? If production ain't pull up until 30 minutes before the show started, okay. You know what I'm saying? If your makeup artist didn't show up at all, okay. If the lighting crew just didn't turn the bitches on, okay, that makes sense to me. But for some umbrellas, girl, relax. Okay, that'll cover the segment of the Met Gala. Okay, so next up on Let's Talk About It with King, y'all, we finna go ahead and get into this. Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez has reportedly been stabbed. Yeah, I got an article here I'm gonna go ahead and get into real quick from the BBC. And we gonna be we gonna cover this. Yeah. So Lanez was stabbed 14 times by a fellow inmate in a California prison last week, an attack that caused both of his lungs to collapse. He was rushed to a hospital and is expected to recover. Lanez, whose legal name is Daystar Peterson, is serving a 10-year prison sentence for shooting another musician, Megan Thee Stallion, in 2020. Rapper Drake has shared a petition asking California's governor to pardon fellow Canadian rapper Tory Lanez, who was attacked in prison last week. Come home soon, Drake wrote on his Instagram story with a link to the petition. The prison attack, that's random ass placement, but okay. The prison attack happened around 7:20 local time, said Pedro Calderon Michael of the state's corrections department. Staff began first aid before Lanez was taken to a local medical facility for further treatment, he said. A post on Lanez's Instagram said he was stabbed in the back, torso, head, and face, and had to be temporarily placed on a breathing apparatus. He is now able to breathe on his own. Despite being in pain, he is talking normally, in good spirits, and deeply thankful to God that he is pulling through, the post said. The prisoner suspected of the attack, Santino Casio, is serving a life sentence for second-degree murder and other violent offenses. Officials told BBC they said he has been placed in restricted housing pending an investigation. Casio arrived to the Tehachapi institution in February 2004, according to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, CDCR, and has received additional sentences for assaulting a fellow prisoner in 2008 and for possessing a deadly weapon in 2018. They kind of go on to talk about Tory Lanez's case with Megan Thee Stallion and how it divided hip hop world with people kind of picking sides and all that kind of stuff. Then talks about Drake releasing a song with 21 Savage that referenced the case about Megan being shot. Megan in turn accused Drake of making jokes about assaulting women. And this petition, let's get into that. The petition shared by Drake now has 270,000 signatures calling for Gov. Gavin Newsom to grant Lanez a full pardon. The Change.org petition created by the Caldwell Institute for Public Safety also points to arguments questioning both evidence and witness accounts in the case. So again, just clapping it up for reading the article. Again, you may recognize another tone shift. So I really try to be neutral. But I gotta always down as bullshit and dumb shit. So this is crazy. Let me first say, for the record, I am glad he is okay. I am glad he's recovering, and I hope he recovers soon. According to the report, he's doing well. So I really want to. And we gonna praise our Lord. But y'all, my my bullshit detector is going off.
That's
Okay,
suspicious.
this shit is weird. This shit is very odd. Very, very odd.
That's weird.
Ain't it? This doesn't make 100% sense to me. And uh you know, this whole thing with Tory and Megan and ever since the shooting happened a few years ago has always felt like a motherfucking TV show. Like and I find it crazy that this situation with Tory happens, of him getting stabbed, happens the same time there is new alleged information in his case that the bodyguard for one of Megan Thee Stallion's friends overheard his client say Tory never shot Megan. How do y'all not get TV ass, scripted ass, Atlanta Housewives ass vibes from this? Like you know, and then to have Drake be a cheerleader and pass around petitions. The more I hear more about Drake, the more I'm just like, I don't know what happened to Drizzy. I don't know what happened. After I graduated in 2016, 2017, once Views came out, my friends would get mad at me every time I say this, but ever since Views came out, it's just been this thing with Drake that really has made me not like him as an individual. His music has kind of fallen off a lot, and it started with Views. It started with Views. It just started there. 2016 was great, but Views started this bullshit with Drake, and I just cannot make this up. But it just feels so scripted. Now, y'all, I don't like seeing black men in jail. I don't. I gotta say that. I have to say with my whole chest, I do not like seeing black men, black people, period, in jail. Now, if a motherfucker did some OD shit, wrap him up. Okay, wrap him up. But I am always going to be for a fair trial and due process. Okay? Yeah. And I'm saying that because everything may not look like the actuality. In the world of Hollywood, you have to get comfortable recognizing a lot of shit. I mean, I'll say a lot of shit is curated. It's curated, is ha he is planned, it's critical. Why? Because Hollywood is a moneymaker. Every influencer, every celebrity, every movie, every song, every record label, every production company, everything is about marketability and revenue generation. And we think as people, as consumers, oh, you only making profit, only making money when, something's being sold or when something is, garnering attention. In reality, no. Y'all, one thing I liked about college was being in marketing. And when I got introduced to marketing, it was so fascinating to me because it's the modern day and business approach to controlling the minds of people. I'm not saying that figuratively, I'm saying that literally. The tactics down to how people even speak, to how they dress, to who they with, to what they wear, to what they eat, to the brands they associate with. It is so interesting. at how it can influence the next motherfucker. Did y'all know they put cartoons and, kid related characters in commercials for like cars to influence kids to nag their parents about buying a specific kind of car because they saw Mickey Mouse driving it? Do y'all know how intentional placement is? Do y'all know how intentional promotion and all that stuff is to make you think a certain way? A lot of y'all don't even like the thing that you like. You just got them because somebody else got it. Why? Because of marketing. And when you in Hollywood and that place all the time, all of that. When you a big name and a big, all that money driven, you're not making money just for yourself. You're not a big name just for yourself. You got a team behind you. People are rooting for you because if you don't eat, they bills don't get paid. You get what I'm saying? So Hollywood is this big ass manipulated ass system. And at this point, I don't trust nobody. In all honesty, at this point, I don't trust nobody. Not Megan, not Tory, not the friend, not the driver, bitch. At this point, I don't even trust them damn doctor released photos of that girl foot. Okay? And I'm just playing. I'm just playing, but everybody at this point is just been lying. Everybody be lying so much. It's so much shit to sift through, literally. It is like y'all are so full of shit. And at this point in time, you don't know who's telling the truth. Now, my spirit is telling me two things. Megan was shot. Okay, Megan was shot. She was. And two, the bullet came from the car. Now, I've said to friends in the past that it would be a gag if her friend did it all along and the friend and Megan got kind of like linked up, decided they're going to blame Tory to send that man away. I could see that as a possibility. I could see that. They pissy. He fucking on both of them. Y'all mad. Girl power. I get it. I can also see Tory Lanez suffering from little man syndrome, being disrespected by this Amazonian ass woman. His little feelings getting hurt, and him shooting out the car. I can also see that. So I don't know. I think I said on prior podcast episodes or prior conversations we had about this. I think it's more likely that Tory shot Megan. I do. But I also understand the speculation people have behind this whole damn thing because nobody is just telling the fucking story. Okay? Nobody is just saying, here's what happened. Nobody was forthright with information. It dragged. And in court, y'all really didn't get into all the nitty. It's just I don't know. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this turn out because, I know it's not done. And I would not be surprised. I feel like we're gonna get a court date with a retrial or something pretty soon. So Tory, stay safe, stay healthy. And don't be talking shit in that prison. That just came to me too. I feel like Spirit just said, yeah, I feel like you would have been there talking shit. That little man, I really feel like he got a little man complex just from the way he's not navigated in the friends he be around. I feel like he has a little man complex and that gets the best of him at times. So I'm hoping, a speedy recovery. Megan, I hope you operate accordingly. I know backlash coming in all the other stuff now because, again, people won't keep talking. To the friend, girl, at this point, I don't even get what you got to say. I don't care. I've just really... I don't know. At this point, I don't know what else to get into. Somebody tell the damn truth. And I hope this shit wraps up quickly. Okay? Now, lastly on the docket for Let's Talk About It with King, as we talked about court. Ooh, child, y'all. I'm going to get into this a little bit. Diddy is on trial. Diddy is on trial, y'all. Now, this is something we started talking about last season. I believe I was at the Forbes conference. I said during that recording, during that episode, that one is going to go to court. We knew that. But two, the double-edged sword. This is all portraying this to be. So Diddy's on trial for I don't even know if this is a domestic. I don't think he's being charged with domestic violence, but he's being charged, I think, with sexual assault, um, having a sex ring, like a whole enterprise thing going on, sex trafficking, racketeering, a lot of shit. He's been charged with a lot of things. And I said during that episode that two things can be true at the same time. Do I believe that he did some of these things? Mm-hmm. Do I think that he did? Uh-huh. I believe, yeah. Yeah, I do believe that this. I do believe he did these things, child. Now, do I believe he's the only one? No. Do I believe he's the one who got caught? Yes. Do I believe the powers that be are observing this situation and others in similar statuses, spaces, experiences are now cleaning they shit up? Yes. Yes, I do. I think he's the acceptable monster for now. But I think we're gonna get more stories like this, unfortunately. And I also feel like he's gonna be made a spectacle. As well. So we have a article here. I'm gonna go ahead and read this real quick to kind of give a recap of the last few weeks, because it's been, I believe, 2 weeks now of the trial that's been going on. So the second week of Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking and racketeering trial continues Tuesday, with more government witnesses expected to take the stand, including Combs' former personal chef, a male escort, and Cassandra Cassie Ventura's mother, Regina Ventura. Combs' former personal assistant, David James, also resumed his testimony. On Monday, James said Ventura told him she couldn't get out of her relationship with Combs because he oversees so much of my life. Another government witness, Ventura's former best friend, Carrie Morgan, painted a similar picture of Combs' tight grip on Ventura's life. Now, y'all, that's Cassie, for those who don't know who Ventura is. Last week, Ventura spent 4 days on the stand discussing the drugs and sex parties known as freak-offs that are at the heart of this case. The 38-year-old singer said she was coerced into participating in the events with male prostitutes, usually in hotel rooms in various locations around the world. Combs, 55, is facing criminal counts of sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. He has pleaded not guilty. So Combs' defense says he might have a. Now, this is the part that gets me. Combs' defense says he might have been a bad boyfriend, but he is not guilty of the charges he faces in the trial, which is expected to last 8 weeks. The volatile relationship between Combs and Ventura, they have argued, was characterized by jealousy and violence on both sides. If time allows, prosecutors plan to call Scott Kid Cudi Mascuti this week. He is the rapper whom Cassie Ventura briefly dated while she was involved with Sean Combs, the same rapper whose car exploded after a jealous Combs threatened to blow it up. According to Ventura's testimony in her lawsuit, the government also hopes to question Don Hughes and George Kaplan before trial breaks for the long Memorial Day weekend. Sean Combs' mother and sons did not appear in court Tuesday for the second day in a row. Janice Combs and sons Justin Combs, Christian Combs, and Quincy Brown were a consistent presence during Combs' pre-trial hearing, but their attendance has been less consistent during this trial this month. They did not show up for the jury selection, but attended every day of the trial last week. Combs' son showed up even when his daughters did not, sitting through testimony about Combs' sex life and violent tendencies. They were seen periodically giving their father encouragement, tapping their fists to the hearts in the gesture of solidarity. So these cases have been, crazy to see, to hear about. A lot of the things being discussed in this testimony is truly wild. From the male sex, from the sex workers, to Cassie kind of being like a middleman, who was coerced, but she said also at a point in time she wanted to do these things kind of in the beginning, but as it kind of continued, she feared for her life and stuff like that. And there was a video that circulated of her being brutally assaulted in a hotel. And child, she ran out of that damn room with no shoes on. So it gave very much Tina Turner kind of dipping out of that hotel from Ike, and it's giving that. This shit is crazy. It really is. I don't want to add no more spectacle to this shit because it's wild. It is wild. It is wild. It is wild. You can go to social media and take everybody making jokes and all this stuff. I really want to focus on the humanity of people. Now his kids, I'm pretty sure are sitting there shook. Like, what the hell is going on? What the helliyante? I do believe some of them is involved in these situations. Allegedly, I was say allegedly involved in situations. Allegedly, are involved in these cases, and I think some of his daughters are really just shook at some of the nasty and sick shit this man has been going on. I apparently people are being peed on some R. Kelly type energy. Bottles of lubricant, and I mean bottles, girl. 3, 4, 5, 6 bottles. Liquid IVs needed. The sperm and stuff being. I feel like I can't say this on YouTube. Like, I can't say these things, but y'all playing with like bodily fluids on people's nipples and stuff. It is. It is a key, y'all, in the spectacle of it all. Now, like I said, do I believe he was doing these things, y'all? Yes. If the federal government approaches you on some, we got a case against you, oh baby. Oh baby. They've been doing, they've been deep diving, baby. It don't get to this point unless they got some shit locking you up. I'm looking forward to see how this trial continues. I'm praying for the sanity and the peace of the people who are giving testimonies and stuff like that. Cassie is pregnant. Her husband is sitting there. Like, this is such a, y'all, it's so uncomfortable. It's such a sad thing to watch and to see a black billionaire, a black man who accumulated so much status, so much success, be torn down like this. That's how I say this is a double-edged sword. Because I do believe he did these things. But I believe the message being sent out to the masses is to diminish black people. It is to defame and scrutinize black success. It's crazy. It's really sad. And I don't have any words. It's just my only ask and my biggest piece of curiosity is, where is your friends? Diddy? Where is Clive Davis? Where is Beyonce? Where is Jay-Z? Where is Jennifer Lopez? Where are all these people? You know, it was a point in time when people was gassing up going to these parties and stuff. People were excited, like, oh yeah, I'm on Diddy list. All white. No, what you talking about? I'm Diddy. Where your friends at? That's all I want to know. Where they at? Where are the people who was attending these parties? Where are the people? Why is nobody talking about this outside of the spectacle that's being created in court? Where are the other celebrities, A-listers, whatever you want to call them, who've been involved? Where are they at? Where they at? Where they at? Where they at? Jennifer Hudson, bitch. Where is they at? That's my only question. That's my only thing that I want to know. So we're gonna keep going on this. I'm gonna make it a little note now to kind of step on today, because this is supposed to. They're expecting this to go on for 8 weeks. It may go on longer based on these testimonies, child. And I had a heavy feeling it's gonna be a surprise plot twist witness out of nowhere. We're gonna be gagged. But again, Hollywood. So this is the acceptable monster for now. But I want us to be attentive to all the other monsters who are outside of this space. And to those who are impacted from this situation, I truly hope and pray for your sanity, your peace, and your courage to speak truth. I know how hard it can be in those spaces to speak. So keep speaking. And we'll see how this all turns out. Okay, y'all? Stay up to date. Social media, but read. Don't add to the spectacle of this shit, y'all, because it's already there. I promise you. I ain't got to give no funny tone commentary. I ain't got to get nothing, because this case is a key by itself. So go read, stay up to date, and I'll be sure to bring y'all the latest as we continue in future episodes, okay? Now, y'all, for the last segment of the day, we finna get into this creative advice. Long story short, own your shit. Now, since I've started Kvngdom, I have placed a heavy emphasis on ownership, on, copyright, trademarks, all that kind of stuff, because I think it was drilled into me growing up from like traumatizing movies and documentaries and just experiences of hearing people talk about their journey in creative spaces, if they were making movies or, music or designing things or creating products. And specifically emphasizing the journey people have had, and how the lack of ownership or the lack of the protectants that go behind business owners and, creative works really fucked up, people money, people opportunities, but most of all, people careers in an instant, all because they didn't have something saying they own things. So I made it a bit of a focus for me, and which is why it took a little while for Kvngdom to get started, because I was learning about those things and really trying to make sure, as I ordered my steps and as God guided me, I was doing work that could not be torn down, or I was doing work that could not be easily, fucked up because other people or because of something that I do. So, I do want to say sometimes, people have ideas that transfer and jump from one person to the next, because ideas are just energy, and energy really moves around a lot. So if you don't use it, I really believe it dissipates in you and goes to somebody else. And that's why I think, the saying that you run with your ideas because timing is everything. Really, really run with your ideas because timing is everything. And if you don't act on the things that's been placed on you, I think it goes to somebody else. It goes to somebody else. But I also feel like motherfuckers be stealing. Motherfuckers be stealing, try be stealing, slurking, copying, and pasting. And that's another reason why protection of your things are important, because if somebody sees what you're doing and catch the wave, oh, that could be good, that could be successful, I could do the same thing. They may take your shit. I done got countless stories, y'all, of people losing music, getting their music stolen, getting their designs and stuff stolen, patents and stuff like that taken. Now, I do want to say this too, because people be thinking, oh, because you have X amount of followers, or oh, because you're located in X part of the world, or oh, um, because you're not that much known, people are not watching. Child, we are in the world of internet, in the world of data, in the world of digital media. People are scrolling 25/8. Whether you think you being watched, listened to, heard, or not, people be watching, listening, and tuning in. Okay, I don't care if you got 5 watches. I don't care if you got 10 listeners. I don't care if you only sold 2 shirts. I don't give a damn if you opened up a spot and only had 1 customer. People be watching. People be listening. People be tuned in. And you never know who may be inspired or may flat out steal from you. I got people in my life who've had music they've created thinking, oh, so and so don't, people they listen to music before. And then you hear them play it in their car. Then when you turn on the radio and hear Chris Brown singing their song. Huh? So, I really want to uplift and share some information with y'all to, keep y'all shit safe. Because this every day, new businesses, new artists, new products are coming out that can impact your endeavors, impact what you're doing. So I really want to first get into 3 things. And I'm going to keep it very service level, very basic to the point. Protectants really depend on, or let me phrase that. Things that protect your works, your businesses, and all that really depend on what you're doing, right? So we have, for example, copyright, right? Copyright is the original content or artistic works that somebody creates. Think things like protections for music or videos or pictures that you may have or take. That would be things that you would copyright. Trademarks now, where you see TM on things, or even people who have like the C with the circle around it, that's copyright. But trademark is more so for brands and identity, right? Things like protecting your brand name, like Nike is trademarked, or protecting logos like the check symbol is that's trademarked. And that protects your use of not only those things, but make sure it gives you grounds to sue people who are using or emulating things in reference to that. And then lastly, patents, right? Patents are for inventions, new products. Think things like a toothbrush or a microphone, or some kind of technology or a new app that you're creating. That would be something that you would want to patent. You can also patent ideas. Things that you're, thinking about doing, or inventions you want to create. You can patent an idea. You can patent an actual physical product. It just depends what you're trying to do with that. So that's just a real quick synopsis breakdown of a few of the protective ways you can keep your businesses and things like that in check. And I'm saying these things because these are things that can protect your efforts. It depends what you're doing, but they're for the most part the same thing. They're the same kind of focus of protecting your work and your intellectual property specifically. Now, I do want to take a quick second to speak specifically to the musicians, music artists, people who play instruments, stuff like that. I'm saying this specifically to you because I feel like business owners, people with products in comparison or services in comparison, have a bit more room to stand out and have a distinctive voice in whatever market that they're going into, despite selling similar products or things like that other people may be having. I feel like there's a bit more of a identity behind businesses and brands that are selling, like, I got a hammer for you, or I got some oils for you, or something like that. When it comes to musicians, though, I cannot stress this enough. Protect your shit. Okay. I'm saying this because I feel like musicians and music artists are the most vulnerable to shit being stolen. Not because it's just more rampant in that place, but I'm saying because a lot of the time people are coming into music and all that kind of stuff, producing beats, all of that with this mindset of just creating their work. They just want to make their music. They just want to make that beat. They just want to make that verse. They just want to make that hook. You know what I mean? They're not thinking about the business side of things. People creating this stuff, hoping to get noticed and go up from there. That's the trajectory people think in their head. That's not how that works. And especially if you're dealing with music labels and shit like that, distribution deals, all that kind of stuff, attentiveness to the business is so important to make sure you not only fucking up your bag, but making sure you're not trapped for decades in legally binding terms, like legally binding shit. And you know, there's so many artists coming out daily that it's inevitable. You're gonna run into a motherfucker who say something similar to you, who did something similar to you, got the same motherfucking name as you. Let me say this on the record because I've noticed this as well. It's one King J. KVNGJAY. Do not forget that baby because you already know the vibes. Okay? It's one King J. I done seen a few others. King J this, J the King that. Hold on. I'm the only motherfucker in this bitch making an empire out of this hoe. Okay, let's cut that on up. Hello. When you hear King spit, King wrote it. When you see King on the motherfucking thing, King did it. Kvngdom. Kingdom Essentials. Kingdom Consulting. Pretty soon, Kingdom Productions. Mama, shut the fuck up. But I say all that to say, when you're creating things, do take the time to do your research and kind of look around and read the room, check the landscapes, and verify that you, one, not only have your own identity, but two, you are so distinguishable that it resides with you. I really wanted to echo that because again, we've heard stories from various generations, people in various spaces, specifically in music, people like Prince, who noticeably, famously got into it with Warner Bros. About owning his masters. So much so, this motherfucker changed his name to a symbol. Changed his name to a symbol to retaliate against them bad deals he was in. Same with JoJo, who had to stop making music for 10 years because her label wanted to put her on a shelf. Frank Ocean, Megan Thee Stallion. Bad deals, bad publishing deals, bad distribution deals, bad record deals. Y'all learned the term 360 finally. It's predatory, specifically in music. Don't get me wrong, loans and stuff like that from banks and all that be predatory too, with the intentions and hopes that you just don't know your financials knowledge. But when it comes to music, it's so predatory because they're banking and hoping that you're so blinded by the simple want to create music and to be in your craft and have your own space and be able to do music on stage and have your shit heard by the world. They're banking so much on that they are hoping you don't read that fine print. They know you're not going to read the fine print. They know you're not going to ever understand what the fuck is being said to you. If I told you I'm giving you a cash advance of $4 million, bitch, all you heard is you heard $4 million. But the word you forgot, advanced. If you got to pay all that back, that's a loan. That's a loan, baby. And most of that money is used to create your project. Most of that money is to create not only one project, but 5 over the next 3 years, over the next 6 years, over the next 10 years. You see how this goes? So I'm saying all this to say, y'all, please protect y'all shit. If you're going to be in this space seriously, in any creative endeavor, any business endeavor, take your shit seriously. Because people will play in your face, and it'll be too late to turn around like, oh, damn, they played in my face. Yeah, they did. And now you stuck for the next 15 years. Now you stuck for the next 10 years. Now you're not getting no royalties. Now you don't have any ownership. Now you created this thing and they own it. You can't even use your own work. All because you didn't know the business side of things. So protect your shit. Musicians, go ahead and register them damn lyrics. Go ahead and register them damn beats, them musical compositions. BMI, ASCAP, great tools to start with. You know what I'm saying? Get into it. For my business owners and other folks alike, some links I want to share with y'all that are some, good starting points and places of resource. Our LegalZoom or Taylor Brands if you're trying to get your LLC or corporation formed and all that kind of stuff. The United States Patent and Trademark Office or USPTO who help, get your patents and trademarks and all of that filed and all of those good things. And then also financial protection. Y'all get y'all an EIN. Get y'all an EIN. You can get one for free through the IRS.gov site. But an EIN is essentially a separate entity for financial purposes. So you don't have to mix your own financial, accounts and stuff like that with your business. So let's say one day you get sued, right? Well, prioritize. Kvngdom. Let's say Kvngdom gets sued one day. Oh, I don't. But let's say Kvngdom gets sued one day. Whoever's suing will be suing Kvngdom. They ain't suing Josh. You ain't getting Josh financial, so you're getting Kvngdom. And that's the part people don't always think about. Musicians, same thing. Get an EIN. Operate in a separate entity, so then that way you are able to not only have a space that you can use to open lines of credit, you can open bank accounts and stuff like that. You can use to also, process taxes separately from your own expenses. That's a great way to get that thing done, to get it in, to get it done, to get it processed, all of that. So go get y'all an EIN. Again, it's free. You can get it through the IRS.gov site. And once you have it, you can start applying to banks and all that. So you got to build credit history, all that kind of stuff too. But you can start using it as a separate thing and grow from there. Okay. So yeah, I just want to make sure I share that with y'all because again, business is important. The same way the creatives, as I've been asking in the prior Artist Spotlight episodes and stuff, the creative, the craft of these things are important. Yes. The quality is important. Yes. But the business is also important, not just for your revenue, not just for your profit, but to make sure you here for some time. Make sure you're long lasting. And it shows you serious. Okay, the same I'm putting shit up. No, I'm serious with King. I'm dead ass. I am dead ass. This is gonna be an empire. It's growing to that now, and it can only go that way with legal protections. Okay, so go ahead and look into those things. And again, resources are available if you are interested in learning more about those processes and how to file and all of the things you need to be accountable for as a owner. Okay, not easy. More money, more problems. But I hope, it's digestible. And hoping those things that I shared today will kind of get you off on a good start if you're already not doing those things. So love y'all, and I hope you enjoyed the creative advice segment today. But yes, I'm so glad that y'all tuned into today's episode of Royal Voices Podcast. Yeah. Now, like I said before, Artist Spotlight will be uploaded next week, y'all. And I'm just trying some things out. We gonna see how I'm feeling about it, how the vibe goes. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed today's episode. Hope y'all enjoyed all the things we got into because it was a lot. So make sure you follow us on our socials on Instagram and TikTok at Royal Voices Podcast, all one word. Follow the brand Kvngdom on Instagram and TikTok as well at KVNGDOM.co. And then follow your host, your kid, the boy, on Instagram at _JAYTHEDON_. And the link tree in my bio will have access to all the other things I be getting into. Thank y'all for tuning in to today's episode of Royal Voices Podcast. And remember, we reign forever. Y'all have a good one.